breaking it down, smoking weed helps. Like, I ain't gonna lie to you.
It's true, it does help.
I ain't gonna lie to you. It do.
Yeah. Thank God it's legal now.
Yeah, I didn't start until after my loss to Leonardo.
Really?
Yeah, first time that I did. But honestly, it was probably like the best thing to get it. Because I was angry at the fight. I was angry at everything. I was like, fuck, how can I, this guy, I was like a 10-1 favorite going into that fight. That was the one fight where I never saw I was like, I'm going to smoke him. So I just had this anger. And the only way I saw my dad kind of deal with it was alcohol. So I kind of turned to that, and that is no good. It's
the worst way to do it.
Worst way to do it. It just makes the delusions bigger. You know what I'm saying? It just makes you angrier, and it just kind of compounded everything. But honestly, like when I smoked weed, it was like, because at that point I was like, oh, you know what? I had tuned it out for so long because that's what folks did that I kind of associated with being lazy and not successful,
right.
and these fucking
me too. I
don't want to be these niggas on the corner.
Right.
Like, but when I did, it kind of opened up the anger towards myself. You know what I mean? It kind of opened up my mind for the first time, and I think that actually did have a lot of help with it. I don't like chronic or nothing, but
I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
I think that's what people are afraid of with it too, is that paranoia. I always say paranoia is just you looking at things realistically.
Yeah.
And even the possibilities of things happening realistically. I mean, some people, for sure, if they have tendencies to be schizophrenic in particular, and then they smoke a lot of weed, it could spiral them.
Oh, yeah,
but
that's not good. Yeah.
Like anything else.
Smoking too much of anything is not a good idea.
No,
Doing too much of any one thing is not a good idea.
I agree.
I mean, weed's the same way.
I agree.
You have to be able to balance. You know what I mean? You can't just fucking sit on the couch all day.
But I'm glad that you're saying that there's a real benefit to it too. There's a benefit to it mentally, and exposing that vulnerability and just making you aware of who you really are, like maybe to other people.
Yeah.
We all, especially men, I think we puff our chests up and we like to look at ourselves as maybe better than we really are, because it's like a shield, that like a false confident shield that you put up to protect yourself from your vulnerability. But marijuana says, no, fuck that. Why don't you just look at whatever the fuck you're vulnerable in and stop doing that, stupid. Like, this is your problem. This is what you're scared of. You're like, shit, the weed's right.
Yeah.
It can help you.
Yeah, and it kind of, like I said, especially after that fight, I remember it. That really helped me to get over it. And not just get over it, but to understand it and understand what I was doing. Because again, you just don't, you get them hormones. Maybe it's testosterone. You get that fucking pumping. You just don't, you don't give a fuck.
That's part of it for sure. It's also, think about what you're doing for a living, man. It's one of the most risky propositions you could do as a human being outside of war. That too.
Yeah. And I took that into, you obviously you take that into consideration when you start doing something like this.
Yeah.
I'd taken it into consideration every fight. One slip up, you could be, bad news.
Sure, one injury could take you out forever.
Especially when when I was in my situation, even when I was signing with the UFC, it was like, okay, do I go and try and be a doctor, and I was going into biomed, so I was like, that seemed more secure. You know what I mean? That seemed more like attainable, easier. Or do I fucking throw caution to the wind? And at the time when I was 18 or 19, no, I guess 19. That was like a hard, you know what I'm saying? One of those ones that was hard for me to make, but it turned out well, I guess, at least.
Well, it's you're gonna have more than one interest too. That's also part of the problem. There's a lot of people out there that like doing different things, and you might be leaning more towards one than the other, and you just got to kind of soul search.